Hello, this is arVin's creation, and this time I bring you the expansion kit for the controllers. EasySMX M15 and the Memo S3, but also this expansion. The kit works for arVin, ATUTEN, XPlode, GBEOSMO, G-Story, GBEOSMO, EasySMX M15, and the Memo S3. The expansion kit comes with the expansion, the saw retainer, and a bag with everything you need to assemble it except for the tools. Inside the bag we just find a couple of springs, a small rubber piece, also the flat cable for the connection, and 3 screw bags. These bags have screws in a large size, others in a medium size, and some in a small size. The first thing we're going to do is apply heat to the main rubber, since underneath it we find the first screws. For this, we're going to use a heat gun. You can also use a hairdryer. Now we proceed to remove the rubber. Since we've heated it up, it should come off fairly easily. And this way, we won't leave the glue on the controller, in such a way that it doesn't interrupt us when it comes to removing the screws. Now we also apply heat to this small rubber piece, since underneath it there are 2 more screws that we need to remove. Now we flip the controller over and start by removing the 4 screws on the back. Then we flip it back over, and now we remove the 8 screws that are on the front. We flip it over again, and now we can take off the first cover. As we can see, we now have control and we can find the ribbon cable and also 6 other screws that we need to remove. Now we remove the 2 springs. We won't be using these springs anymore, and we'll replace them with the 2 that come in the kit. Now we also remove the flat cable. Simply, we press a little the small piece that holds it, and we remove it. We won't be using this cable again either, as it is replaced by a longer cable that comes included in the kit. Now we take the springs that come included in the kit and the bag of smaller screws. These are 4 and they will be used to screw the springs to the control. Now we take the flat cable included in the kit to install it. In this case, the cable has silver tips instead of gold ones, and on the other side it has blue ones. Once we have inserted the cable correctly, aligned with the piece, we carefully press the tiny piece there to hold the cable. We do the same on the other side of the control. Now we take the key extender and stick the rubber onto the piece at the bottom, as you can see in the image. Now we start assembling the control. We take the back piece. We stretch the flat cable and the screws. And we place the piece. Once the piece is in place, we start carefully screwing in the 2 side screws and the 6 screws in the middle and securely. Now we take the expansion piece, the one without the rubber, and we place it this way inside the controller. We stretch the controller and place it at the end. Once that's done, we grab the other piece and place it on top. We stretch the flat cable and we check that the screws are well aligned. And in fact, we press the flat cable with the rubber. Once all this is done, we can press a little on the right side. And we start by screwing in the larger screws first, which are 6, and then the medium screws, which are 4. Now we're going to place the last part to close the controller, but first we bend the cable so it fits inside this part. It's important to bend it a little. We let it stick there, and we close the controller. We apply some pressure, close it, and once it's closed, we stretch it a bit so that the flat cable is properly positioned. Now we start carefully screwing in the screws at the end. And then we flip the controller to screw in the 6 screws on the front. The ones that were under the rubber. And finally, we screw in the 2 small screws on the left end, finishing up with all the screws from the expansion kit along with the ones that were already in the controller. To reattach the small rubber on the left, we apply a little heat so it sticks better. Now we place the larger rubber piece on the right side. To place this rubber piece, it's much better to do it from the bottom, in the direction that the control is facing, on the screen, upwards. Now we can see how to place and remove the retainer. You will only use this retainer if you want to play with smaller devices, like cell phones, or maybe a much smaller tablet. This way, it won't take away your ability to use your control with smaller devices than the tablet, which is what we want. And that's it. Have you completed the installation of the expansion kit for the controls? arVin, ATUTEN, XPlode, GBEOSMO, G-Story, GBEOSMO, EasySMX M15 and Memo S3. The size of the control for use with tablets is from 10 inches up to 13 inches.